Hey guys, you're watching Boondocking with Dennis. We are on Copano Retreat Road, and that is a tailings pond over there. And there is another one to the right here. If this road looks familiar, we have not been down here in a long time. This is a road that probably 2 years ago we discovered the underfed horses, and we brought. I happened to have the first time I saw them, I had carrots in the truck. I had just gone grocery shopping, and we fed them carrots, and we fed them hay, and we got them a bag of horse feed. And I called various agencies, even the sheriff's departments, because I wasn't sure if this was Aransas County or San Patricio County. And I didn't. I called horse rescue and got zero help, zero responses. And one day at Rockport Beach, I happened to see two Texas game wardens, and this is after like a month had gone by feeding them and checking on them a couple times a week. And I told them about it, showed them where it was on on the map, dropped a pin for them, and those horses were gone the next day. What had happened was the owner died. Family members, I believe the wardens said it was children, inherit. You know who told me all this? A neighbor who was also feeding them. The owner had died. The children were supposed to be taking care of the property and the horses. There's some egrets, I believe. No, I don't know what that. Well, the ones on the left, yes, but there's one on the right going to fly right by. Is that a cormorant? I believe that was a cormorant, but I don't know. This is a egret. I saw there's more egrets. Wow. They're like, I better land in the road. There's a truck coming. Look at them lined up. Thou shalt not pass. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Wow. There you go. Thank you, boys. I appreciate it. I got to say it, guys. Egrets. I've had a few. But then again, I wonder what they taste like. I wonder if they taste like spotted owl, which is also delicious. That's just a joke, guys. See, it's a joke because the goat screamed. You can see that balloon thing down there on the left. We could see that when we're over in Bayside, and that is, I've been told, a shrimp farm, and that is like a collapsible dome that they can take down if a hurricane is coming. So that is pretty neat. Further down the road here, there's some kind of an abandoned farm. So today's December 3rd. December. How did that happen? As I get older, the it's not even the days and the weeks fly by, the months fly by. I had a moment where I heard something in some YouTube video saying, I know I'm going to mess this up. The end of the Civil War, the beginning of the Civil War, and the beginning of World War One is the same distance from the beginning of World War. I'm sorry, the beginning of the Civil War to World War Two. It's the same distance from the beginning of World War Two until now. So I was thinking World War Two was what, 1941. So that video was probably a year old. But I was thinking like that got me going down the spiral of thought of the bicentennial. I remember the bicentennial was a big deal. America was 200 years old, and that was in 1976. And then I was thinking, so it'll be 300 years old in what, 1976? So, wow, wow, math has eluded me. My mind is a complete blank. I knew I should have done drugs when I was younger. At least I would have an excuse. Kids, don't play football. Don't do martial arts. Don't play hockey. Sports where you get hit in the head are bad. There's some cows out there. Calvin, livestock. 1776, 1870, 1976. So it would be 2076. Is that what I'm trying to say? Yes. 2076. And it occurred to me, I'll be dead by then, right? Damn. So that was my first time in my life I've had a moment of mortality. I don't mind the thought of dying. I just don't want to suffer. I don't want to have a stroke and be left alive. That was my grandmom's biggest fear, and she lived to be in her 90s, my nana. And she actually had a stroke in her 90s where a few days she was alive, but couldn't talk, but could just, your body reacts, I guess, certain ways, and you twitch, and she could squeeze your hand, but uh, out of reaction, not out of any thought consciousness. And that was tough to see her like that. I went down and I talked to my nana every day. We've been down here before, guys. Every day when I was working at the gym, I called my nana every weekday, because my grandmother was too busy on the weekends. She had stuff to do. She was very active in her church, and uh, almost daily active in her church, I believe, even at her age. And she was down in Seaford, Delaware. So I think she had it on a Monday. And on a Tuesday, I took off from work and I went down and visited her in the hospital. And I met a lot of nice people that she went to church with. Let me show you this view, show you a little Texas out here. We'll back off a little bit. And met a lot of nice people. I mean, I I don't know if it was just spontaneous or if they had like visits planned. Either way, it was still very nice of them. I get, she could only have two visitors at a time, and I got there all day. But when she had visitors, I would sit in the waiting room, which was right outside her door, and just let them have a moment with my grandmom, because they were her church family, which treated her a lot better than her real family did. I remember right before, a few months before my grandma passed away, um, I think she kind of knew, and she had her daughter-in-law helping her, and my grandmom gave me $5,000, which is a lot of money, but at the time, $5,000 wasn't a lot to me at the time. Right now, it would be $5,000. But I said to my grandmom, you know, my whole family milked my grandmother for money. I borrowed once money from my grandmom and paid her back just when I said I would pay it back. And I absolutely hated that I had to ask my grandma for money, who didn't mind at all. She just said, like, when are you going to pay me back? And I told her, and she said, okay, because I have bills coming in. And I'm like, okay, grandma. And I paid her back. And when she gave me that $5,000, she said, don't tell anyone else that I gave you $5,000. You're the only one getting anything. Oh, but she gave Rod and Margie a gift as well. And Rod and Margie lived in the house with her and her brother, her older brother, my great uncle Billy, and took care of them every day. And they deserved everything, but they made sure they had groceries and cooked meals and clean clothes and cleaned the house and drove them around to their churches, church events and meetings and services. Brian Ferris, I think your geese are here. And also, who else had geese in their video? Oh, my buddy Scott from The Truth had geese in his video. And Brian's up in Canada, not too far from where my dad lived in Maine, that general area. And Scott is in Ohio. And he goes on walks and just had some geese in his video. I think last week he did a short. And his channel's The Truth. And Brian Ferris's channel, oddly enough, is Brian Ferris. But she told me I was the only one in the family who borrowed money from her and paid her back. And I thought that was really sad that other people in my family that I haven't talked to in 20 years, that was like a big part of their income, was scamming my grandmother for money. And I don't want to say my grandmother was gullible, but she was unworldly, if that makes sense. She grew up in an environment where people just didn't lie to you and make up things like that. So when you gave my grandmama a story, she believed you unless she had a reason not to believe you. And I don't know how I got on my grandma, my nana, and that's my nana that wasn't even a blood relative, but she is awesome. There's the bubble over there. I could have swore this little road had more gravel on it. And the last time we were out here, guys, there was so this is the yard right here that had the horses, and this goes down all the way to the corner where we turned in. And you could see the farm, the abandoned farm buildings in the distance. But I know there's cows here now. And before there were 4 horses. 2 of them looked really underfed. And I never knew, I don't know anything about horses, if they were underfed or sick or old. But I'm pretty sure they were at least underfed. And there were some donkeys here as well. And it was a gentleman that lived on this road. I don't know which house, but I talked to him several times. And we actually got him on video. He would go out to the paved road out here and drive it and pick up trash on his own. The first time I saw him, I thought he actually worked uh, for the county or something. And if we make a right where this road goes down to. Well, the good thing about all this fog is I won't be kicking up dirt if I speed up a little bit. If we make a right down here, it goes to a kayak launch, part of the Aransas. What's it called? Aransas Kayak Trail, Aransas County Kayak Trail. And before you ask me, guys, again, this is the road that it is on is Copano Retreat Road. It goes down from the bay up to 188. If you're a kayaker, and don't forget, kayak spelled backwards is anyone? Bueller? Anyone? Kayak. Yep, you got it. I'm trying to remember a joke, guys, and all of them are unfit for my YouTube channel. They're funny, but they're unfit. There's an old looks like a windmill stand right there, huh? That got bloated over. Bloated is a word. You can Google it. What was that? There is a little pond there that you can see cattle way in the distance, or I can see cattle. I don't know what the camera does, guys. Yeah, you can see cattle up there. Maybe about 100 and 200 yards up there. Black cattle. Well, guys, I've roamed and rambled. I've followed my footsteps to the golden sounds of my diamond desert. All these songs that I listen to over and over, I I don't get any of the lyrics right. I think the only song I can sing from start to finish is Tequila, and I'd probably have trouble with the timing on that. Well, no clear skies over here, guys. We got fog and barbed wire. The devil's rope. Thanks for riding along today, guys. Ooh. Thanks for watching.